pretend so that I live in a dormitory. For those who don't know, it's just a room where there is no toilet and no kitchen. Of course, there are some rooms that have ones, but I can only dream of such luxury. And in order to relieve myself, I usually have to run to the end of the hallway. Yeah, it's not that comfortable. Anyway, I don't have to rent an apartment. But even in today's realities, I had to save up for a very long time for my own housing. It's not large, it's not comfortable, but yet it's my own. The neighbors, of course, aren't that great. On my right, there's a room of some alcoholics. Well, that's a different story. As soon as the doors to this room are opened, the general corridor gets filled with a creepy stink. It looks like a mixture of human waste, alcohol, and Soviet antiquity. Some woman was constantly coming to their room. She lives across the hallway, but 2 rooms to the left. A terrible, smelly, withered little woman who staggers along the corridor leaning on the walls, who even doesn't know what soap and shampoo is, and who stinks so much that it feels like vomiting. I have no idea what she was doing there, but most likely, she was having some drinks with them, and then the whole friendly bunch must have been having fun on a pissed bed. Both the police and the house management committee have come to their room. Nobody pays for housing and utilities, as you already might have guessed. They've even tried to move them out. Nope, nothing comes of it. They keep boozing and stinking as they did it before till this very day. But anyway, I quite rarely run across them, and honestly, I don't care. But thankfully, the stench hasn't learned how to get through the wall. I had been living and didn't touch anyone until a certain moment. I should admit, I don't have any friends among the residents of our floor. I don't know anybody, I don't talk to anybody. So merely for the sake of decency, I greeted them. So, as it turns out, someone lived in a room located right next to the toilet. Now I'm gonna explain why I'm saying, as it turned out. The thing is that I have been living here for over a year for sure and have never seen that door open. The old door with the peeling paint seemed to be boarded up for centuries. But today, it's opened. In the morning, I brushed my teeth in the common kitchen and I was going to my room when suddenly I saw the door opening. I thought it might have been another door, but nope, it's the one I told you about. The old, shabby door with a nasty creak that sounded across the entire corridor opened. Quite a thick woman went out of that door. She seemed to be wearing the domestic sundress and slippers. She carried a basin where there were dirty dishes. At least it seemed so. She passed by me, shuffling her feet, and I noticed what she had in the basin. Yeah, I guessed it right. There were the dirty plates, cups that looked as if they had not been washed for 1,000 years. And among all of that, there were some scraps. I could not make out in a second what it was, but it seemed like it was the scraps of some rotten meat. She passed me by, so my nose got instantly filled with this disgusting smell, so I quickly opened the door and disappeared into my haven. Honestly, sometimes you walk by at night, and God forbid, you'll run across one of these neighbors. It's kind of a horror movie. Fucking wrong turn. I went into the room, then dropped a towel on the shelf and thought to myself, maybe no one had lived in that room. But then one of the relatives might have announced and remembered about the empty property. So she came and started decluttering everything there. Well, I've never seen her there before. I somehow remember the faces of others, but I don't remember her one. I didn't pay much attention to that neighbor then, but I should have. In a couple hours, I already forgot her. So I got ready, got dressed, had breakfast, and was off to work. I'm not going to describe the working day. I'll only say that I was coming home late in the evening. It was already dark, and for some reason, approaching the house, I looked at the windows of the floor where I live. They were already dark, except for one. The windows of that room next to the toilet were shining. I thought that since the room was abandoned for quite a long time, this woman might be having a lot of work. Well, nothing special, I thought, and opened the doorway. I went upstairs, opened the door to the hallway, just walked inside, and suddenly I saw this woman standing in the hallway. And to get into my room, I had to walk by her. Well, she kept standing. She might have been thinking about something, I thought. Then I walked towards the door. I was going and thinking, why the hell was she standing there? Coming closer to her, I saw her eyes. It was a glance into nowhere, as if she were on something. It didn't feel good, and this weird feeling was increasing as I was approaching her, but she kept standing and didn't move at all. Honestly, when I just entered the hallway, I thought that she would stand there for a while and would go away to do something else, but she kept standing there. I came up to her, and I blurted out, "Hey madam, are you fine? Maybe you need some help." Suddenly, the woman seemed to recover.
"Oh, thanks. Everything is fine. Why am I standing here? I've completely forgotten what I was going for,"
she said. She had kind of a prominent speech impediment. That's why I barely understood what she was talking about. I passed by her, then turned my head as she rushed into the kitchen as if someone would have taken something from her. She was quite a weird woman, I was thinking, while turning the key in the keyhole. Extremely weird. I went into my room, changed my clothes, and started thinking what to eat. I opened the fridge and decided to boil some pelmeni. I took out a bag, then I took a saucepan out of the cabinet and went out again into the corridor, hoping that the woman had already left. Fuck. She was standing at the stove, frying something, and the smell in the kitchen was so awful you could hardly breathe. I can't even describe what stinks so much, but that smell instantly unblocked my nose and caused vomiting. I was really hungry, so having filled the saucepan with water, I put it on the stove. While standing there and waiting for the water to boil, I was breathing through my mouth just not to breathe in that stink, and I also was watching that woman doing something, and she was doing the following thing. I was there for 3 minutes. While during these 3 minutes, she was stirring something with a wooden spatula in a frying pan, either a cutlet or a piece of meat. I came closer and saw that there were worms in the meat. There were a lot of them. They were no longer alive, so they didn't crawl there, but they were so clearly visible. The meat smelled as it had gone bad a long time ago, but she fried it. And that smell, you can imagine that scent of rotten fried meat. "Madam," I turned to her. She rapidly turned to me saying,
Yes?
"Is it okay for you to fry rotten meat?" I asked.
It's not rotten. Why did you think so? I just bought it at the market today.
She was talking quite strangely. It's like when a person lies until the very last, although the truth has already been revealed.
Here's a fresh one. Let's try to cut it off.
She took a knife and cut off a piece of this nasty thing. She stabbed it with a fork and came up to me.
Try it.
"No thanks. I'm gonna cook these dumplings now, so I don't want to kill my appetite." But I was looking at it and I was just about to puke.
Well, if you don't want it.
And she put this piece in her mouth and chewed it with a smile. I waited until the water to boil, put the dumplings into the water, and went back to my room. It was better to wait in the room until they're cooked than to be there with that psycho. In a few minutes, I went out into the hallway again. She was still in the kitchen, humming something, and it was pretty loud. I could hear her perfectly in the corridor. I entered the kitchen and saw her chewing her culinary masterpiece. I was about to puke. In order not to stick around there, I took a rag and quickly took the pot off the stove and went to my room. That crazy woman was just creepy. I made sure of it, but the worst was to come. I went to the toilet at night, passing by her door. Since it was an old wooden one, I heard that she was sitting giggling. I heard rapid footsteps around the room, and she was humming some strange song. At the end of the hallway, a light bulb burned out a couple of months ago, and no one cared to change it. So when I went to the toilet at night, I always used a flashlight on my phone. That time wasn't an exception, and that was when I saw the maggots next to her door. Not a lot. There were about 20 of them. They were alive, and, to my surprise, were pretty big. They were moving so gross, right on her rug by the door. Having quickly done my things, I rushed into my room, surfed the social media, and fell asleep. All the horror started to happen in the evening. The next day, I returned home from work, went to the kitchen to cook dinner, where I met my creepy neighbor again. She was pretty okay that day. She approached me politely, greeted me, and said,
My dear, you're young. You must be good at technology.
"Well, not so much," I said.
Could you set up my TV? In the morning, I pressed something on the remote control and the TV stopped showing. I've already tried everything to fix it. Can you sort it out? It's quite expensive to call a repairman. I'm not that rich.
"Well, I'll help you," I muttered, although I had no desire at all to go somewhere with her, especially to her room. Alas, a word spoken is past recalling. I brought to my room everything I had cooked, but she was standing all that time in the hallway, waiting for me. I left my room and we went to hers. When I entered the room, I was fucking shocked. It was a clean, well-groomed room, no maggots, no stench. She even had a good air freshener. There was nothing to nag about, but to be honest, I expected to see a shitty room with an awful smell. But it turned out to be different. Maybe it's not as bad as I thought. "Well, what's the problem?"
Oh yes, just a second. Here's the TV. Here's the remote control.
I took the remote control and turned on the TV. There was only interference. Since I didn't understand anything of it, I started clicking everything to check different options. The thing that alarmed me a bit was that when we went into the room, she locked the door. After I had set her TV, we went out into the hall. She thanked me, and then I accidentally hooked a rag, which covered the mirror, as I guessed later. And there was a house with peeling wallpaper. The windows were cracked, everything was scattered everywhere. The walls were covered with some strange substance. There were dirty dishes on the floor. And that woman, in the mirror, she didn't look the same as she was in the real world. It was something incredibly creepy and scary. She seemed to be this woman, but she nearly had no hair. She was completely covered with abrasions and spots, where the maggots and worms were crawling out now and then. An already familiar smell filled my nose immediately, but that smell was 5 times stronger. I saw all of it literally within seconds. Then I felt a hand on my shoulder, and in the mirror I saw she was standing right behind me. I guessed it, and as she squeezed my shoulder, a very strong pain pierced my whole body. My legs gave way and I fell to the floor. All this time she was clawing her fingers into my shoulder. I screamed as loud as I could, and she was just repeating,
Nobody hears, nobody hears.
I tried to free myself from her hands, but my movement was accompanied by pain. Really excruciating pain. I was yelling at the top of my lungs. It was a sheer nightmare. Then she was apparently tired of holding me like that, and she just tore off a piece of me. I yelled even louder, but nobody really heard me. She dropped me on the floor and climbed up the wall. God knows how she could hold there. It seemed to me that this was just a terrible dream. I regretted 1,000 times that I had agreed to come here. But then some kind of complete devilry started. She was climbing the walls, squirming and saying something completely incomprehensible to me, while I was laying there and barely could move because of the wild pain. Then she came down to me and took my head with both her hands. That was creepy how much strength she had. I was yelling, "Let me go! Let me go!" And she just bared her teeth angrily, exposing her rotten yellow teeth. I no longer felt my right hand. It simply got numb. But the left one was still fine. And when the woman raised me a little by the head, I pulled my strength together and punched on her head that she left my head and moved back a little. After the blow, there was a squeal that was freezing the blood in my veins. It wasn't a human. It was an evil spirit. I tried to crawl to the door and somehow get out of this living hell, and that's not how it turned out. The door was locked and she had the key, and she was standing in the corner of the room and screaming. I realized that it wouldn't end well, and the only solution to that was the window. The second floor is not very high to jump, otherwise it would just torture me here. Once again, pulling my thoughts together, I rushed to the window, but she grabbed my leg saying,
Darling, where are you going? Have you already fixed the TV?
I was already holding on to the cracked window frame, and she was pulling on my leg, but not hard, as if playing. I wrenched my leg out of her hands and knocked out the window and jumped into the street. I fell and broke my leg. I screamed so loudly it echoed through the streets. Someone heard me crying. A man ran up to me.
Why have you jumped out of the window? Are you a fool? You're still quite young.
And I was just writhing and moaning in pain and couldn't really say anything. The man, without any hesitation, called an ambulance, which surprisingly arrived pretty quickly. I stayed in the hospital for 10 days for sure. I got a cast put on and was completely bandaged, but still. One day I was discharged from the hospital and I hobbled home leaning on crutches. The hospital was very close, across the street. I didn't want to go back home at all. But anyway, all my stuff, my documents were there. After all, it was my home. But yet, I was very afraid to meet that woman again. When I entered the entrance, I started to get cold feet. With some difficulty, I went up to the second floor and opened the creaky door to the hallway, and instantly paid attention to that door to the room of that evil spirit. And it turned out to be sealed. I got such relief. But what I got to know throughout the day plunged me into real horror. I asked almost everyone living next to me what the door was and why it was sealed. And all as one told me that this door had been sealed for 10 years already. When I heard this, I nearly fell with my crutches. It turned out that no one really lived there. I found perhaps the oldest tenant on the floor. It was that alcoholic grandmother who I told you about at the beginning of the story. For a bottle of moonshine, she told me what happened in that room.
The first one who settled there was a woman. She worked all her life. She looked neat, but she just had no luck with men and she had no children. So she spent her life alone and died alone as well. So her body started decomposing. Only when this terrible stench started to spread from that room, people remembered about her, and when they broke the door and entered, they found only a rotten body. In some places, bones were already visible, and worms were eating up the flesh. Nobody could live in that room. People either disappeared or were found dead. And interestingly, they found them dead and they looked the same way as that woman, rotten to the bones, although merely a week passed since their death. But since I live here, the door has been sealed all the time.
The grandmother was speaking slowly while drinking the moonshine.